so today we're going to be driving up to Black Ridge, where there is a special swallowtail that a bunch of people want. So we're going to see if we can find it and see if it's out. See, it's April 25th, and so Black Ridge happens to be the hotspot for this butterfly. So we're going to see if we can find it today. I've got a internet friend coming over perhaps next week to look for this butterfly too. So I want to see if the thing's out here now, and then I'll know if it's going to be out next weekend when he comes. So let's get up there. It's about a 40-minute drive, and we'll see what we find. So we decided to stop for a few minutes to get some sustenance. Gonna get some Egg McMuffins. Normally I wouldn't take the XJ to these butterfly collecting areas, but we have a little 4x4 area we gotta drive on, and so I can't take the car up there, but you'll see in some other videos I got my car going because it's a lot easier to drive than my little truck. All right, let's get some Egg McMuffins. All right, now for the fun part. This is why we took the Jeep. Here it is, the Indra Swallowtail locality. All right, so we got to walk up the hill. The Indra Swallowtail likes to be just below the summit of hills. This is the best place to find it, so we're going to walk up this hill. And as soon as we get to the top of the hill, if they're out, we should start seeing some of them. It's really the most common butterfly up here. There's some other things up here too, but this is the best place for the Indra. So this is the prime Indra Swallowtail habitat. This really rocky sandstone at the top of the mesa here. What they do is they don't really land on flowers and feed too much. What they'll do is they'll fly and then land on the ground or rocks right in this area. And I think they're sunning themselves, especially on a day like today where it's not very sunny. They're landing, they're opening their wings, and then they're just hanging out and absorbing the sun's energy. So when we are collecting on a day like this, you kind of have to walk through the habitat and try and come across them because you don't see them flying as much. Right, so I'm actually at the area where this butterfly was first collected and described as a species. We call that the type locality. And so every butterfly that is collected here is a type locality specimen, which means it represents the true species. So the Indra Swallowtail, the reason why it's up on the top of the hill is because it mate locates. Males fly to the top of the hill to look for females. This particular species prefers actually just below the hilltops. So what they'll do is they'll kind of fly over the hill back and forth, and then they'll land along the hill just below the top. So if you look at how this is set up, this road is actually kind of perfect because it's just below the hilltop, and you can kind of walk along the road looking for the butterfly. When you get into the actual natural landscape, it's really hard to walk around. There's lots of loose rock, and it's pretty difficult hiking. Luckily we've got this road to kind of walk on, but the butterfly loves to land up there in amongst that sandstone. So really to get it out, you have to walk through that area and kind of scare it up, and then hopefully wait for it to fly by you so you can catch it. This is not a place where you can really run and catch the butterfly, so they're very difficult to collect. Going up. Coming towards you. Two people, I think, is a little easier to catch. If you stay up there and I stay down here.
I don't know where he went now, though.
He went up. He was flying kind of straight up that way. I don't know. That's one for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So walking back and forth amongst this hillside really helps. Hey, there's one. Oh, he's perfect. He's a keeper. All right, so we finally got one. It's about, what, 11:30? And a little bit later than I thought, but here's the Indra Swallowtail. A lot of people think they're bigger than they are. He's not very big. This one's in perfect shape. So I think they're just coming out. So when my internet buddy gets here next weekend, maybe there'll be more, but this is the Indra Swallowtail. We got him, one down. So the first time I was ever up here at Black Ridge was with my graduate professor, Dr. Paul Oppler. And I had just gotten accepted to CSU, and he invited me to come up here and collect with him. He had traveled over to the Western Slope and wanted me to collect, so I was really excited because he told me I could find the Indra Swallowtail. And I had been looking for about 2 years for it down in the canyons and other places that are near here, but a little bit lower in elevation. And so we get up here, I believe it was May 1st, and we get up here and I'm really excited. I get out of his truck and we're walking around, and he starts photographing an Indra Swallowtail up a little bit higher than we are right now. And I ended up walking down into this kind of meadow area, and there was some Indian paintbrush growing in this meadow, and there was an Indra Swallowtail. And I got really excited. 2 years of looking for this butterfly, seeing it briefly in the canyons and having no chance of catching it. So this day I walk over to the Indian paintbrush and I literally just put my net over my first Indra that I collected. It was the most uneventful catch I think I've ever done, and probably one that I'll never do again with the Indra Swallowtail because they are so hard to catch. I don't know why this one was feeding on the paintbrush at that time, but I rarely see him feeding on flowers anymore. They're usually up where we just were collecting in the rocks. So my first Indra was very uneventful, even though I had been searching for it for so long. All right, the sun is kind of out. I've seen some more Indra. Here is a very perfect specimen. So I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna use it as a trading specimen to trade. It's really important to talk about ethics here. I don't just collect every butterfly that I see. I think it's really important to understand that I am conscious of the environment. I consider myself an environmentalist. I want the environment to be healthy. And taking a few of these specimens out of the environment is not going to harm their population. I make it a point that I only keep perfect or near perfect specimens, and if there's anything wrong with them, if they have a nick in their wing or if they have a tail missing, I always just let them go so that they can continue doing what those butterflies do: mate and lay eggs and produce more butterflies. So I'm very conscious about their habitat, and I'm conscious about this butterfly population. This butterfly is pretty rare. However, it's what we call locally common. So up here, where I know where to look for it, it's pretty common, but it's not the type of butterfly that you're just going to walk outside of your house and just collect or just see sipping on a flower. So it's kind of important to understand the difference. Taking a few butterflies out of the area isn't going to harm our population. And a conscious collector won't collect just everything they see. They're going to collect the perfect specimens, ones that are scientifically important, but they're not going to just randomly collect and decimate the population. That is never my goal. And many times I'll photograph, video record, or catch specimens that are not perfect, and I'll just let those go. So kind of an important thing. I don't want people commenting about how horrible I am taking these butterflies and ruining the environment. I am doing scientific research, and I am trying to document these butterflies, and that involves taking a few out of the population by collecting. So this is the Indra Swallowtail's host plant. It's called Lomadium eastwoodii, and it is in the parsley family. It grows among the rocks here. The Indra Swallowtail, interestingly, has a habit. Its females really prefer to lay eggs on this Lomadium when the Lomadium is next to a bunch of rocks. So the caterpillars will eat the Lomadium, and then they will pupate, and usually the Indra Swallowtail only has one brood per year. In really wet years, they will hatch out again in July. I've been up here once in July and have a specimen from July. All my other specimens are from April and May. So unless we get a lot of moisture throughout the summer, these caterpillars will develop, pupate, and then overwinter until the next spring. So this is the host plant. So we had a pretty successful trip, at least. We saw the butterfly, we caught one. We got some footage of it. And so hopefully I'll come up here in another week and we'll have more butterflies out. So I'd say this was a pretty successful trip, won't you? Wow, this is an egg sausage one.
Oh no!
I don't like this.
Oh wait, you took mine! That's mine!
Well, you just told me to grab one.
No, that one's yours! This one right here! Oh my god!
How am I supposed to know?
I put